Easy Tribe, my name's Ekula. Earlier this year, I released a 140 jungle sort of dubstep crossover on Influx Audio called All Night. Today I'm going to use it for a percussion tutorial. What we're going to be looking at is cutting breaks, a little bit of processing, layering snares and kicks, when to do it and why, what genre influences can go into a track, and overall structure. Enjoy! You can see here, broadly, where the sections are, and obviously how many layers we've got. And that's going to be one of the main focuses of this, is looking at layers, where they come in and when they come back. Okay, so looking at the first 16 bars, I've just cut up a hip-hop break. So I'm going to play it on its own quickly. So I've chopped up this hip-hop groove, so we have the snare landing on beat 3, and it's now got, so it sort of fits a sort of dubstep tempo, but it's got a, I guess a bit of a footwork kind of vibe to it. So you'll notice in the background there's a bit of a change to the sort of stagger that I like to call it. And that's because it's being sent to a delay channel here with alternating timings, basically. So you can hear it goes. And I've EQ'd it. I've just taken out some of the high mids just to make it a little bit less harsh. And I've rolled off the low end and taken out a resonant frequency here. Just so that there's going to be space for the kick and the sub. And it's going to sit behind the other drums quite nicely. So, when we move to bar 17, we've got some new layers. We've got the bass that's come in, but here I've got low kick, and then I've got a high kick as well. So in here, so you can hear that's quite a low, boomy sort of kick. And then above here I'm alternating a 2-layer snare with a 1-layer snare. So the 2 layers, we've got a short snappy one and one with a little bit of a crunchy tail to it, just so that you can get a bit of definition and then also something that sits behind it. And with both of these, you can see with the EQs, you're looking to tame the high mids a bit because they're all going to clash. Okay, so moving on to bar 33, I've then brought in a shaker. I've brought in this higher kick, and the reason I've done that is just to add a bit more punch for the proper drop. This snare here, I've gone for a sort of UK funky kind of rhythm here. With the shaker here that I've added in at bar 33, an important thing to note is I've gone for offbeats, kind of similar to how they'd be used in house and techno, so they're always landing halfway between beats. Moving on to bar 65, this is where we've got the jungle switch up. So what I've got going on here is Valley Warfare break, which you might recognise from the classic jungle tune Valley of the Shadows. And I've got that alternating on every 4th bar with the think break. And the main thing you can hear that layered with is that kind of UK funky influenced snare rhythm that I was saying about. Lower down, you'll see that I've got alternation going on between both layers of kicks and just the lower kicks, so that you get a bit of dynamic variation and just allows you to punctuate the rhythm a little bit differently. Here, all I've done to develop this section is I've just added in a snare, like a half-time snare again, and I've chosen just to use the single layer as opposed to the double layers that you see in the other dubsteppy sections, just because there's already so much going on with the breaks already taking up space in the mids. And I've done that to make the transition coming at 97 back to dubstep feel less jarring. So again, back here, we've gone back to everything that was in the section from 33 to 65. You'll notice that throughout this, with all of the layers that come and change, the thing that remains constant is that UK funky snare rhythm. And then for the final drop, we go back to the jungle switch up. But you'll notice that the Valley of the Shadows riff is a lot more cut up now, just to make a little bit more space for the snares, the dubstep snares, which just come straight back in this time. So with all of this, really, I've got two basic ideas. Well, I've got one or two percussion ideas. This dubstep snare and this funky snare are shared across both ideas, and that's what allows you to switch up between quite different styles and maintain a sort of continuity. So the other main thing I wanted to say with this is I've been kind of name dropping various other genres. So the point of why I keep mentioning all these different genres is, I was saying about a lot of these break samples that come from hip hop and funk. I've cut them up to sort of sound a bit like footwork to an extent. I've mentioned a snare having a UK funky influence. I've mentioned a hat, which is more of a sort of a housey hat than you'd normally get in, say, in what you'd call a dubstep tune or a 140 tune. And I've obviously got dubstep snares and jungle breaks. So the point is, I think the broader the range of sounds you can draw from when you're making tunes, the more you can make something your own. So to tie this all up, for those of you that are interested in learning a bit more about percussion, I've also got a 30-minute course up on EMB, which we can link to in the comments and description.